Travis Wingate. So, this is a complex issue because the victim was only Mormon for a year. She was convert. Well, technically 2 years, I guess. We're in 2022, aren't we? And so the teen is not even, she was 17? Guys, this is disturbing on many fronts. For my 19-year-old mission, I first got out to Massapequa Park, Long Island, New York. And there were a number of guys who had got sent home for an incident in New Jersey, as we had just split off from New Jersey, from the New York mission. And so there were missionaries who stayed in New Jersey, and then other missionaries stayed in New York. But there were some problems even in New York of the 19-year-old missionaries, 19, 20-year-old missionaries, who were converting single women, young single women. And there were sexual situations involved with the conversions. And so when I hear about 17-year-old girls getting converted into the church, that deeply concerns me. As missionaries, we don't know anything about the church or the gospel. I went out not knowing anything other than having sat in class. It's not like school where you have to do reports and you get graded, and so there's no memorization involved. You just sit like you do in church. And there is no, therefore, motivation to study. I did have to read my Book of Mormon because of my born-again Christian peers who were telling me about all of the things I can't do as a Mormon because they watched the God Makers as part of their religious anti-Mormon attacks. And then having seen the God Makers, I'm like, okay, I don't see anything wrong with this. They got some errors in there, but that's only because they're not Mormon. And that's the point, is that converts to the church aren't fully educated into Mormonism. You've got 19-year-old kids who know nothing other than the scriptures they are given and the little pamphlets that they read to the investigators. And so, as much as the investigators vary in retention of what they are told and have to pass their interview for baptism, demonstrating that they're willing to be full tithe payers, you're in. Oh, Buddha, you think is our God? but you're paying a full tithing, you're in. And there were situations like that where interviews of people, very minimal requirements to get in. And so it is disturbing to hear these kinds of stories. But when I first saw it, I had a completely different view. And then when I started reading it, I went, oh, okay. The title from the Daily Beast is Mormon Teen Dead After Flying to the UK to Visit a Guy She Met Online. First of all, that's the stupidest thing anybody could do. There are so many scams out there. It is extremely dangerous. And so, for a Mormon girl, not realizing she was converted at 17, 2 years earlier, it frustrated me to no end. But then I read in, and she's converted. And she's Canadian, eh? So that explains all. No, Canadian Mormons are also targeted. So I'm just going to read this for you. In the days before Canadian teen Ashley Wadsworth's lifeless body was found in 23-year-old Jack Seeple's bed in Essex, England, so apparently the law of chastity is an issue here. But again, she's a convert. And so clearly the church young missionaries are not properly educating, as they themselves are not even taught proper sex ed, as the church leaders won't allow proper sex ed to be taught. And so there is no blaming on her for this. The 19-year-old cryptically asked her friends for help. So the question is, what was she calling out for help with days before she was found murdered in his bed? Seeple, who is heavily tattooed, so why is that in there? Is it because Hinckley told women not to get tattoos and men not to get tattoos? And so a Mormon girl is found dead in another man's bed as he has tattoos all over his body? Is that what they're trying to bring out here, is that Mormon girls are easy? I mean, she's dead. I mean, if the tattooing has something to do with her death, fine. Otherwise, I didn't need to read that. Including one under his eye and one that wraps around his neck. Are they gang tattoos? I mean, seriously, what does it matter? I mean, it shows the guy's rich. To be able to afford that many tattoos, you're rich. And so, yeah, he lured this Mormon teen, apparently for sex, which is disturbing. By shrinking, minimizing the page, I'm able to obtain her photo. Good. And by watching Hogan's Heroes for days now, I'm starting to get German accent. Good. Herr Fräulein. Let's see. He appeared in Colchester Magistrates Court, where he was charged with her murder. He was arrested Tuesday, so why are you bringing it out Friday? After police were called to his home after neighbors reported a disturbing skirmish around 4 p.m. on Tuesday. He was lying in bed beside her bloody body. Daniel Seaman, a friend Wadsworth met through a Mormon volunteer project in Vernon, British Columbia. Are you saying Mormons facilitated this transportation? She met through a volunteer project in British Columbia last summer. So is she from British Columbia, or is... She's not from British Columbia. Didn't I read where she's from? No, just Canadian. Okay. She told him she had trouble making connections with young men. Well, yeah. If you're in British Columbia, that's not Mormon country. You gotta go to Alberta. And started searching online through dating apps for someone with whom she shared values. I think my son's still available. I don't know if he is secretly watching my videos or what he thinks about them. I know that the family has indoctrinated my kids into believing that I'm a terrorist psychopath. But it just breaks my heart to have found out from his mission president a decade ago. So I guess maybe he's too old for her. My goodness, how time flies. So now I'd have to do they've been out of my life so long, I've not had to remember birthdays and any of that. Dear God. So Melissa's birthday is coming up at the 24th. And his is not until January 11th, or June 11th, sorry. Because I remember they were having us place bets as to when he would be born, and I had June 13th, and so my associative memory remembers June 13th, and so it's June 11th. And then Emma's, yeah, that's when I got married a second time, was on her birthday. But ages, it was 1993 when Emma was born, And so Clayton would have been born the next year later, in 94. And so 2013, he would have been 19. Monson hadn't changed the age yet, right? Huh. Really? 2013? Is that right? Because that now is troubling in and of itself. Because I was freed from Utah's concentration camp that the church put me in 2014. Huh. Yeah, 2012. So he would have, wow. Yeah, okay. So 2012. When he was on his mission. And so, yeah, Emma. So, disturbing, but it was 2 years. It wasn't 1994, it was 1995. Because I remember they were 2 years apart. Because she's 4 and he's 2, and you know they adore you. Yeah, that song. So anyway, but yeah, he had trouble and came home from his mission early, and then psychiatrists preyed on him to ruin his life. But yeah, I found out from the mission president that he had gone home early and that he was ordered not to tell me. And then he just happened to be the uncle of a woman that I knew in downtown Salt Lake, who took the picture of me at the Bountiful Temple, by the way, if you remember that. But anyway, dear God. So where were we? Memories on the corner of my mind. She met him online. Wait a minute. No, we have more. I see shared values here. Oh, no. Okay, that's the dating app. She was looking for someone with shared values. Good luck with that. Good luck having left the church and finding someone with shared values in Utah. Dear God, it's a nightmare. All women just abandon you. And all women are social drinkers. What the hell? The Singles Ward Relief Society president is drunk again. Wadsworth met Seppel online. God, no. Shared values were right there next door in Alberta. Sort of. Long-term Mormons don't have the same shared values as new convert Mormons. What is going on? those who are cast out of the church don't have the same shared values as those excommunicated from the church, or those who leave the church. And yeah, everybody has different values. Where is the love? Where is the love? So she traveled to the UK last year on a 6-month tourist visa. She was planning to return home next week, huh? Didn't want you to go, huh? And so he offered to marry you so that you can stay, and you said, no, you don't have my shared values, as I thought you did. You're not the same. You don't look the same as your online profile picture. Apparently, I see what they're doing here, because they're saying they met online, and she's looking for someone who she shared values. She's a new Mormon convert. He has facial tattoos and neck tattoos. You're supposed to show your real face. I see what they're doing here. And I suspect he may have put up a false picture. But she was there for 6 months? I don't know. But Seaman said, that's the British Columbia guy? Yeah, Daniel Seaman. He had an inkling Sepple did not want her to leave. Really? Was it a spiritual witness feeling? Did you have a crush on her and now you feel betrayed? See, because they don't say he's married. He was part of the volunteer project in Vernon, British Columbia. And he got put in the friend zone by her. I see what's going on. He was not her type. But he had a deep crush on her, and he's the one being interviewed by the news, but who does not understand Mormonism, the dating lifestyle of Mormons. I see what's going on here. She started using secret social media accounts to contact her friends. You go to the embassy, dear. Canada has an embassy. Yeah, High Commission of Canada in the United Kingdom. It's right by the National Gallery. Wow. So, cool. Trafalgar Square in central London. London calling. Huh. So, there were things she could have done, but she's just a little girl. So she finally becomes legal. She takes off to the UK for some guy who she claimed had shared values, which is code word for Mormons. Her boyfriend didn't want her to talk with us a lot of the time. Well, yeah, you're cheating on him. That's what Daniel was thinking of you taking off to the UK. You're cheating on him. You abandoned him. He didn't realize you were just in the friend zone with him. The next thing Seaman heard was that his friend was dead. Now, he described his friend as looking for faith, which he says led her to be baptized into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints last month, March. Oh, was it 2021? Okay. So she was So she was 18. Just newly converted and takes off immediately. So she joins the church, can't find a guy. So she goes to the UK. Looking for faith, huh? Seaman, you got... Mormon men are so dumb when it comes to women. She was not looking for faith, she was looking for a man. And you weren't good enough for her, so she went to the UK. Seaman told other media outlet, oh, he's getting his 15 minutes of fame. Oh, poor Daniel. This is so traumatic for Daniel. It's all about Daniel. Daniel needs comforting. Wadsworth had become skeptical about the Bible and had turned to the Book of Mormon before she converted. A ball of energy, huh? Ashley was a ball of energy, this is quotes. She used to have a Facebook account where she posted jokes and memes all day, every single hour, every single minute. Seaman said. So you were stalking her. I mean, yeah, if I were, well, I am, but I'm not young anymore. Yeah, if I got a crush on a girl, I'd be stalking her too. She was really funny, yeah, always laughing and excited. Yeah, you had a crush on her, didn't you? And she always said what was on her mind. Ah, there it is. She did not share your values. Never a dull moment. Uh-huh. Seaman said Wadsworth's cryptic messages now make more sense. Dumbass. She figured out the Book of Mormon was coded, and you, as a longtime Mormon, didn't know it was coded. You weren't watching my channel. And so apparently they're not going to tell us the coded messages. She had reportedly reached out to a variety of friends who she wanted to help her work with authorities. The embassy, dude. Though Seaman said she had no idea what the circumstances were. Work with authorities. She didn't know what the circumstances were? Okay, he had no idea what the circumstances were. So, yeah, girlfriends were communicated with, and the guy who had a crush on her is the one everybody's interviewing. Seemed like when the going got tough, the tough gets going. Billy Ocean. She wanted a change in scenery. Yeah, a change from you. I think the friendships weren't that deep. She searched the world for connections, and I think that's how she connected with her boyfriend. And it's not supple, I guess. Tributes paint a picture of a young woman who had thought she finally found someone with whom she could be happy. You are my best friend, my family, and my rock. Yeah, I used to write poetry too. When we went through so many phases together, we did so many silly things together. A friend named Mackenzie Palm wrote on Facebook, I hope heaven is everything you read about in church. Uh-oh, and more. So a very sad tale. And she looks like she could have had any guy she wanted, but they're not going into any details about anything. So, but at least I was able to identify that she was looking for a man by joining the church because of the young missionaries. Did I call it or what?